Hello, girls. Hello. I'm so sorry. We just finished the Portuguese one. So glad to see you here. Hello, hello. Who's there? We're there. We're back. Sorry about that. We talked a little bit more, but that's normal, right? That's very normal. Hope everybody's doing great. What's going on with you guys? Open your microphone so I can hear you. I'm gonna go to the Boss Babe group to make sure that everybody, every question has been answered. We went over some very good topics in the Portuguese class. The questions were awesome, and I appreciate that because that helps us figure out what to best cover during the class. So thank you for putting your information in there and letting us know what goes on with you during the closing. So today we're going to be talking about the closing of the sale or the closing of the sharing appointment. And it's a lot of fun because to talk about this because the closing is really like the final line of the race, right? So you've been preparing yourself, you've been preparing for the whole appointment, and the closing is like the climax of the opera, or it's the last jump of the basketball game, or it's the last kick of the soccer game. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I have a few points that I want you to write down because those are they're going to help you prepare to have a very good closing every time. I'm going to wait a little bit more to see who else comes in. Let me turn office over here and put a quick note in there in just a sec. All right. Okay, she's back. Okay. Love your red shirt matching your red glasses. Is Jessica yours? Is Jessica your girl? Who's Jessica's? I really, like, it took me a second to come back. No, she's not back. I'm going to type it on. I can't read. I need a new pair of glasses like yours. Yeah. Did you have any objections that your girls wanted for me to cover besides those? Fernanda? Can you? Any other objections that we covered? O custo? The cost? Não. Eu não escuto nada. Não sai nem um chuc assim. Nada, nada. You gonna type it up for me? Hi, Jessica. She's back. Okay, good. Yay! Sorry about that, girl. All right. You're muted, okay? Just so you know. And Fernanda needs a little microphone. I can't hear anything she's saying. Like, I see her, she's cute, but I don't hear anything she's saying. All right, so it's 5 minutes, we're gonna start. So today the topic is fun. It's a fun topic. It's really just overcoming any obstacles that we may have during the closing. And so I have some notes that I took to remember the important points of the closing of the appointment, closing of the sale, and closing of the sharing appointment. Really, what we covered on the first call was the objections of the closing of the sale. Nobody gave us any information on the closing of the sharing appointment. So I don't know if you have, Jessica, if you want to give me any questions about that, or if you have any objections that have stumped you before. But the ones that I got were, I don't have any money. I have to talk to my husband. Hold on here, let's see. Yeah, I just bought a new product. I just got a new product. And she also, one of the consultants also said, okay, I'd like to be able to do an upsell. So they only buy colored. I want them to buy skincare. Okay, so those are the ones that I got as a reply, and so we'll cover those. But I want to just talk to you guys a little bit about first the spirit of the whole closing. So the closing is like if you were to think about my husband is a basketball coach, so everything I relate to basketball games. So think about a basketball game, and you're at the last 5 seconds, and your goal is to win that game. So you're going to do everything possible. You're going to pass the ball, you're going to shoot the ball, you're going to foul somebody, you're going to throw the ball out of bounds just to be able to get to your final goal. But your activity at that moment is related to all the preparation that you've had. You are not able to shoot a three-pointer. You're not able to block somebody. You're not able to think about throwing the ball out of bounds unless you did that at practice every day. If you are the same thing, I'm not going to give you more examples, but you get the point. So if you have not prepared for a good closing, most likely your closings are going to be botched up, right? They're not going to be smooth, and you're not going to feel that you accomplished your goal. And the client probably will leave there with less than what she deserves to leave, right? Less product, less bookings, less opportunities, less information about the opportunity. And so if you are not prepared, if you have not built up your skills to a healthy closing, most likely you're not going to get what you want, and she's not going to get what she deserves, okay, or what she should get as a client, as a VIP client. So I want you to think about it that way. When you prepare for a closing with all the steps that are necessary for you to have a healthy closing, then it's going to be hard for you not to have a great closing. And it's all about you, because you are the professional in that situation. You direct that appointment. You direct that relationship. You direct the conversation. You are the one that has been through other closings. You are the one that has learned the skills of a healthy closing. The client has only been to a closing one time with you, and she's going to be experiencing that right now. So she has no idea what the next step is. She has no idea what goes on in a closing. So she's there as an spectator, and you're there as the director. You are directing the conversation, you're directing the mood, you're directing the yes and no questions, you're directing everything that happens there. So when you are prepared, when you know all the steps, when you have prepared the relationship up to that point, you have greater success, you have greater result. And the success, the word success I use over here loosely, because for each one of us, success means a different thing at the closing, right? Success means a different thing. Hello. Hi, Nasita. How are you doing? Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here.
Hi. Hello.
How are you doing? I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad you came. Yay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So today we're talking about closing, okay? So we're talking about the closing of the sale and the closing of the appointment.
Okay.
When we're done with all the showing and all the pampering, now
Okay.
this is like the Super Bowl, the most important part of the class. And so when you prepare yourself,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. When you prepare a relationship with her, when you have built that rapport, now it's time for you to come to a win-win situation where you are focused on your goal and you're going to go after that goal. And she has a specific request. She has specific needs that you want to meet in order for her to also be happy with that closing. So your goals might be different. In the beginning of your business, you might be focused on selling the product and booking new appointments. As you develop your business, you see the benefit of growing the team. So then maybe your goal at that point in your career is to grow a team and book new appointments. Sales are going to happen regardless. So depending on what your success means, you're going to have different activities, different things, different goals. And so different questions for your client to get to your goal. So I want you to be mindful of that, that's why it's so, that's why the closing could be something very interesting for a new consultant, because everything in the appointment is taught. We teach you how to call people when you first start your business, to book the appointments. We give you scripts of how to book the appointments. We teach you how to coach the hostess. We teach you how to pre-profile the clients. Excuse me, just one second. To how to coach the hostess, how to pre-profile your clients, right? What kind of questions to ask them to be there. So all those tools are available to the new consultant. And then we teach you how to overcome objections at the closing. But you don't know what a closing is going to look like until you get there. And so for a new consultant, that could be really like, okay, it's the unknown and I don't feel prepared. Therefore, I don't want to do it. Okay, so that's normally what happens to a new consultant. She's willing to do the booking. She's willing to do the pre-profile. She's willing to learn how to do the appointment. She uses the flip chart. She can even do the table closing. But in my experience, a lot of new consultants shy away from the individual closing because they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to answer objections. They don't know how to take a no. And they don't know how to turn the no to a yes. And that all has to come with practice. We don't get good at it because we studied it. We get good at it because we went through the process. We got no's, we got rejections, and we went home and we thought about it. How could I have done that differently? Some consultants are smart enough to ask the leader and say, okay, what are the things that happen on a closing that I might not like to experience? And then they learn from it and then they come more prepared. Some consultants don't come prepared and they just skip the whole thing. They just skip it. Hi, Danny. How are you doing? Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Yay. I don't see you, but I know you're here. So I'm glad you're here. Okay, girlfriend? So that's it. When you are prepared, when you have your specific goal, then you know what's ahead, what to plan for. What is it that you need to be doing? So I want to go over some steps that are going to help you have a healthy closing and you can get your results. All right. Number one, the closing starts when you meet your client. I want you to think about that. The closing of the appointment starts when you meet your client. It is not when you pull her aside from the group and then you start asking the questions. Did you like the appointment? Did you like the foundation shade? If money was no objection, what would you take home tonight? That's not the closing. The closing starts when you first meet your client. Your first interaction with her, she's gonna buy you first. She doesn't have to try a product to buy you. She has to buy you first. And that enriching experience in the beginning is gonna give you a good closing because she trusts you. She believes you are an excellent consultant, an excellent professional. So when she believes you, she's more likely to buy from you. Okay, when she trusts your knowledge, your expertise, she's more likely to buy from you. Okay, so it starts when you meet that person, when you first shake her hand, when you first call her and say, hey, Fernanda, this is Anna. I am going to be the consultant doing Mary's party, and I would love to ask you some questions about your skin. Do you have a couple minutes for me? That's when you start the closing, is when you sell yourself first. So be mindful of that because every interaction with that client is going to turn into a successful closing for you and for her, okay? So when you are meeting that person, you're asking questions about her skin, you're asking questions about her everyday life. So, you ask questions about her skin at the pre-profile, you confirm those when you're looking at her paperwork that she fills out at the beginning of the class. But then during the beginning of the class, you're gonna ask, hey, everybody, let's go around the table, tell me your name, tell me how you know the hostess, tell me a little bit about yourself, and pay a compliment to the hostess. That's how I start my classes. And then I observe people. Tell me your name, tell me how you know the hostess, tell me a little bit about yourself, and then pay a compliment. Would you please compliment the hostess? Tell her something that you love about her. And then I pay attention because I get to know her. I get to know her. I give her room to talk. And the words that she uses, the compliment that she uses, the needs that she expresses during that time are going to be a good tool for me to know who she is. And I can lean on that information at the closing. So if you don't know her, if you haven't heard from her, if you don't pay attention to what she says, if you don't build a relationship, if you don't give her options to express herself, then it's going to be very hard to talk to her at closing. Okay. So the closing starts at when you meet her, when you know a little bit more about her. The next thing you want to focus on is you are there to enrich women's lives. And you're going to do it two ways. You're going to give her an opportunity to be beautiful. She's going to feel beautiful at that party. So you're going to give her the best product for her skin. And again, if you don't listen to her, you don't know what her specific needs are. So if she's not willing to tell you, you might need to draw it out from her. Okay. So if she did not pre-profile you on the phone call, you may want to do a kitchen coaching with her. You may want to pull her aside during that initial part of the party and say, you know, I didn't get a chance to talk to you before. But one of the things that I want to do is I want to really fill your needs, your skincare needs. So is there anything that you'd love your skin to be improved? Anything in your skin that you'd like to see improved that I can help you achieve? Ask her those questions, okay? Fine. So that's how you enrich her. She's going to know you through the process. She's going to observe you. She's going to see your attitude. She's going to see your facial expressions. But you're going to enrich her by, at the end of the appointment, she's going to look in the mirror. She's going to feel beautiful. She's going to be enriched by that experience. The other way you can enrich her is by filling a specific need in her life. And we talked about that in the Portuguese class. In my family, we call it confetti. You'll notice that there's some people, some women that you meet during these appointments that they just need attention. They need recognition. They just need to be heard. Nobody gives them they need food. Some women just come in and they just are needy people emotionally. And you will notice that by their attitude. You know, they catch it, they want attention. They're going to be negative. They're going to be talkative. They're going to make lots of comments, either positive or negative. They want confetti. So when our children, we still do that when our kids are together, and one of them is acting up, I'll say, okay, my oldest is Marcelo. I'll say, Marcelo needs confetti. And so everybody goes, all right, Marcelo, you're awesome. You're so great. We love you very much. You're the coolest thing in the world. And then we all do like this with our hands, and we're putting confetti on him. And then he realizes what a dork he's acting like, and then he stops, okay? So you're not going to do that to your client, right? Because you're not going to be sarcastic towards your client. But she is expressing a specific need when she's acting up at your class, either by being negative, by saying, no, Mary Kay broke my, she's at a Mary Kay party at a friend's house. There's other people there. And she's crossing her arms and telling you, Mary Kay sucks. I put it in my face and you broke me out. That's acting up. She's acting up and she's not acting maturely there. And for you are the director. So read her. Be a mature professional and read what she needs. Does she need attention? Does she need you to throw confetti at her? Does she need extra love? If that's what she needs, you're there to enrich somebody's life. You are there to enrich her life. And so if that's what she needs, you, as much as you can, you want to fulfill that need, because Mary Kay taught us, find a need and fill it. If you make that woman happy with you, if you fulfill that need for her, then nobody in her life is fulfilling. If her husband is not giving her attention, if her children are not giving her praise, if she's not receiving recognition at work, but she comes to a Mary Kay party and you give her the recognition and the praise that she wants, she's going to love you forever. And that is going to play out at your closing. She's going to be a loyal client forever for you, because that's going to play out at the closing. So be mindful of attitudes and comments and what goes on in your classroom, because you can truly benefit from enriching that person's life by watching them, watch what they do, watch what they say, and then respond with a positive answer, okay? But you're the director. If you have somebody who's rowdy and somebody who's taking away from that experience for the other people, it's also your responsibility to take control and make a comment or praise that person and ask her to be your helper or direct her somewhere else where she's no longer an interruption. So that's but you are there to enrich people's lives. Okay, so number one, you want the closing starts at the meeting when you first meet that person. Number two, your job there is to enrich people's lives. And one more thing that I want to say about that. And in my beginning of my business, my desire was to sell products. That was my end goal. If I had a facial or I had a party and at the end I sold nothing, I was extremely unhappy, to the point where I would call my director. I would get in the car, put myself in the car, and I would call her and I'd say, I sold nothing. How annoying this is. I don't like this Mary Kay thing. I can't believe I just wasted 2 hours of my life at this person's house. And I was extremely unhappy for my class. And that when my director would call me back, she would say, okay, so tell me more about the women that were there. And I didn't know anything about them. And I couldn't tell them. I couldn't tell my senior if they were married, if they had children, if they had a job. I could tell zero about the women. You know what happened at that point? I was not willing to enrich their lives. I wanted to enrich my life by selling product. And so I didn't pay attention to them. And so they were not sold on me because I was no benefit to them. I was there to take their money. And they felt it. They knew it. And of course, I had no success in my selling on the closing part of the sale or the appointment, because they felt it. They knew that I was there to take their money, and they were not about to give me their money. So it doesn't matter that the project was wonderful. Doesn't matter that they felt beautiful at the end. They felt my attitude, and they decided that I was not worthy of their money, that they were going to give their money to somebody else. And I learned a good lesson. I learned to really focus on the client, focus on her specific needs, enrich her life. And that was a very big lesson for me, not only in Mary Kay, but all other areas of my life where I was frustrated with my results because I was there to think about me. And so when I decided that I was there to think about somebody else, that I was there to fulfill somebody else's needs, I was there to help somebody get to their goal, automatically my goals were met. Okay, so learn how to enrich people's lives by doing the steps necessary on your appointment in order for you to be prepared and getting to know that person, gaining their trust. And that's where you're going to find more and more success in your sales. Okay, the next point is find a need. Okay, so you can enrich a person generally, right? You can help her have a great product. You can show her an opportunity to be a Mary Kay consultant. You can book another appointment for her so she can get free products. You can enrich a woman by putting great product on her face so she feels beautiful. But when you know a specific need of that person and you're able to fill that need, you're going to be her friend for life. Okay? Because if she's an adult woman and she's coming to a class where an unknown person helps her fill a need, you are a very special person in her life. You have made an impact in who she is as a human being. I'm going to repeat that. If she is unknown to you, if you don't know this woman, okay, you just met her, and she has a specific need in her life that she's acting out on it. You know, you can see her attitude is changed, or she's not acting normal because she has a specific need in her life. Attention, recognition, praise, positivity. And you are able throughout that appointment to change, to fill that need, to change how she feels about herself. You have made an impact on that person's life. And she's going to love you forever. She's going to be a really good client and a good friend of yours because she now respects you as a professional and respects you as a person. So find a need and fill it. That's what Mary Kay asks us to do. And the next thing is I'm going to ask you to follow the steps. Follow the steps. Many times, like a new consultant will tell me, I didn't sell anything, or I had obstacle X that I couldn't overcome. And I'm going to ask her, let's say, for example, that the client told her that at the end of the appointment that she didn't have any money. So, okay, I want to buy everything, but I didn't bring any money. That's a very common objection. But if you followed your steps of the pre-profiling, that objection should never come up. And the pre-profiling, when you're first speaking to the client, when you're introducing yourself and asking her the skincare question, before you hang up the phone, you're gonna follow a few steps. And the steps that you're gonna follow are gonna generate for you sales, new bookings, and a prospecting of a new consultant. Because those are the three pillars of the appointment, right? We wanna be there to sell, to recruit, and to book a new appointment. So before you leave that phone call, before you hang up the phone, you're going to follow the simple steps to create those three things, which is a new booking, sale, and possible recruit before you even see her face to face. And those things are, hi Anna, hi Fernanda, this is Anna, and I'm the consultant that's going to do Mary's party. I'm so excited to talk to you. Do you have a minute? I'd love to ask you a few questions about your skin, to be prepared for you, to have a tray ready for you. Can I take it a couple minutes away from you? Great. Okay, ask her the questions. Ask her if she has any specific allergies that have been, I know how to say it in Portuguese, hold on. If you've been diagnosed with any specific allergies of a specific product, ingredient. Have you been diagnosed with any allergies of a specific ingredient? The reason why I ask that question is because I don't want anybody blowing up in my party. And if she says that she's been diagnosed with a specific allergy to a specific ingredient, it's easy for me to go to Mary Kay Touch and find that ingredient and exclude those products that have that ingredient from the facial. So I've just taken away the objection of I am allergic to Mary Kay. Okay, so I have just cut the allergic reaction to Mary Kay excuse from the roots by asking that simple question. Are you allergic to anything that you've been diagnosed with of a specific ingredient? Have you been diagnosed with any specific allergies of any specific ingredient? I want to know the ingredients that you're allergic to so I can exclude those from your facial. Okay, so I asked that question at pre-profiling. I don't know the woman, but I want to be prepared for you. And then the other thing that I say to her is, of course, in my conversation, I'm going to find out if she has a job or if she's a stay-home mom. I ask those questions because I want to know if she's got money. Okay, if she has disposable income and that she can spend freely without asking people, I want to know that question. So I ask her, what do you do from 9 to 5? Or do you work outside the home or are you home? Because if she's usually home, she has a budget and she wants to ask her husband for money. She's not going to be spending with her husband knowing about it because there's a one income household. That I want to know that because I want to offer her products at the end of the phone call. So I'm going to also say to her during that pre-profile, you're going to follow, this is what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be doing, so-and-so is going to have snacks over there for us. And during the color part, during the time of makeup, I'm going to be able to offer you an individual appointment where we're going to be talking one-on-one, and you can ask me any questions. So start asking questions about skin, about makeup, any questions that you want. We're going to have a one-on-one time. You can ask me any questions you want. So go ahead and, you can ask me any questions at that point. And I will have products available for purchase at the end of the appointment. I have products available for purchase at the end of the appointment. That says to her, bring your purse with cash in it because you are going to fall in love with the product and you're going to want to take him home. Okay? So when I say to her, I will have products available for purchase at the end of the appointment, she understands that she'll have a shopping opportunity. So then again, I'm cutting off at the root the closing part where a person says to me, I don't have any money. I prepared her to have money. I told her that I would have products available for purchase at the end of the appointment. The other thing that you can do, so follow the steps. Are you following the steps? Are you doing the pre-profiling? Are you coaching your hostess and asking her, who are the people in your life that love taking care of themselves, that would enjoy a pampering like that would invest in products for themselves so you can have your 10, 15, or 20% hostess credit? Who are the people in your life that would come and really pamper themselves and get everything they want so you can have the best hostess credit possible? Okay, so you're teaching your hostess to bring the people that are going to invest in themselves. You are asking the same questions and letting her know on the phone, one-on-one, that you're going to have products available for purchase. I accept Visa, MasterCard, Discover, cash, or check. I accept. You can tell her that. You are the director. She's the spectator. You are the performer. She's coming to watch you. So if you don't teach her those things, you're often creating those objections at closing that could be easily avoided if you went through every step of the process, okay? When you prepare your client for the closing, you're gonna have a good closing and she's gonna have a good experience with you. So follow the steps. Are you pre-profiling? Are you coaching the hostess? Are you following up with each person before the party? Are you asking them for their skincare information? Are you telling them about having the product available for purchase? Are you telling them that you accept Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Cash, or Check? Are you telling them those things? Are you doing the kitchen coaching? Are you arriving earlier? Are you preparing the hostess for the rest of the appointment? Do you do all those things? Because all those things are attached to a close. Just like we talked about the basketball game, you know, this is for the 5 last seconds of the basketball game to be fruitful for the player. He has to have practice the 3-point shoot. He has to have practice the block. He has to have practice all those things. Your practice is your steps before the appointment. So if you're not doing them and then you have a flop closing, you need to really look at what steps are you missing in order for you to have a good closing. Okay, so are you following the steps? Are you guys alive in there? Am I boring you to death? I have nothing. Everybody good? Okay. All right. Okay, I see you, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you. You're eating. Okay, no, yeah, close it up. We don't want, you finished. Oh my gosh, that was fast. You gobbled that in no time. Okay, I just want to make sure that everybody's still alive because I hear nothing and I see nothing. Okay, so that's good. Okay. So closing starts at the meet. Enriching people's lives. Find a need and fill it. Follow the steps. The next one is cut the objections at the roots. Cut your objections at the roots. And that's something that I learned early in my business because of my personality. I don't like to go through the same objection more than one time. I want to get it done and never experience that again. And so I told the other group, I started a piss me off list. I started a list of things that piss me off, things that make me upset. And that translated into things in my life too, not only in my business. So there's some things in my appointment that I just like going through. I dislike getting to an appointment and the hostess is not ready for me. I dislike people getting there late. I dislike her feeding a banquet, so the attention goes to the food and not to the client. So there's some things that I dislike happening. I don't like to use the word hate very often, but there's something that I despise with all my might is when I get to somebody's house, is they have the radio and the television full blast. Oh my gosh, I just want to throw a rock at that flat screen. I hate it. And a lot of people do it. And so instead of being upset the whole 2 hours that I'm at her house, I'll say to her at the coaching, make sure there's no dogs, no cats, no children, no TV, no radio, no nothing that makes noise. Shut it off. Like that. We don't want music behind. We don't want the football game behind. We don't want, turn it off because I want an experience that will be relaxing to your friends. And I don't know if you are like that, but I am ADHD. I cannot be, my attention goes away somewhere. And so if you have a television on or if you have the radio on, that might take away from the full pampering experience. So please turn off. I do it. I tell them because it bothers me and I don't want it. And so I'm going to cut the thing at the roots. I went to an appointment and it was one of those living room attached to the dining room. So we were sitting in the living room area with, I think there were 10 women there, no joke. It was a lot of women, mostly Hispanic. So they were talking loud and it was loud. They brought their children and the husbands, I kid you not, I'm not making this up. The husbands were right there with the flat screen TV and they were playing video games. Like those shooting sounds, you know what I'm saying? On full blast. And I had to do a party on top of that. And then the husband turned around and says, Anna, look at this move. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? I'm doing a party here. Are you crazy? So Yeah, after that appointment, I'm like, no TV, no man, no women, no nothing. Get away. Like, why don't you have it at my house? Okay, have it at my house. So cut the problem at the root. What are some things that bug you when you're going to do an appointment? What bugs you? Make a list of the things that bug you and find the root of that issue and cut it off at the very beginning. And I'm going to tell you the majority of these things that bug you and that help your appointment not be successful can be resolved with one pre-profiling phone call. The majority of them can be resolved on a pre-profiling phone call. Yeah. Jessica, I only see like a shadow, like I only see nothing. So if you're making facial expressions, I see nothing. Okay, I'm just letting you know that. The light is right behind your head like that, so I see. But if you're okay with that, that's fine. But if you want me to see something, then let me know. Because if you're mouthing off some things, okay, you're good. Just undo your voice if you want to tell me something, okay? I see you moving, but I don't see it, okay? Just I'm letting you know that, all right? Okay, good. So the majority of these obstacles that happen at the closing or even at the appointment can be solved with the pre-profiling phone call. Like I said to you, the allergic reaction, that is something that's super simple. I have not had a problem with that in years in my business because that is a question of our pre-profiling, okay? I don't recall the last time I went to an appointment and somebody didn't buy something because all my pre-profiling questions. I pre-profile everybody because I want a result. I come in there to find a new director. My job and my new appointments is to find my new director. So I'm going to look for attitude. I'm looking for behavior. I'm looking for the leader. I'm looking for the person that has that stellar smile. That's the person I'm looking for. Then I'm looking for new appointments. I'm looking for new bookings. So I'm looking for everybody that fell in love with me because she's going to book a new appointment with me. And I'm going to sell a product. There's no reason why I shouldn't sell a product because everybody had a great experience there. But just because that is number 3 in my priority list, that's not a reason for me not to prepare for the sale. So I am going to tell her that I'm going to have product available for purchase, that I accept Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Cash, or Check. I'm going to say that to her. And I'm going to prepare her to bring money. Okay? So when I prepare people at the pre-profiling, most of my objections are gone. My appointments are successful because I have no more objections. People, there's nothing they can tell me because I already told them that they cannot tell me that. Okay? At the previous appointment, at the previous class, somebody said to me, husbands, one objection that she receives is, I need to talk to my husband. And that's something that I ended that a long time ago. And I say, at the pre-profiling, I'll ask her if she has a job, if she works 9 to 5, what do you do from 9 to 5? What are your skills? I'd love to meet you people. What do you do? And she'll tell me I stay home or I work. And I'll say to her, look, but if she's a stay-at-home mom, I usually will say to her, most stay-at-home moms when I was a stay-at-home mom, we had a one-income household. And so every time I went somewhere, I needed to ask my husband for money. And just make sure that you get what you need from him so you can come, because you're going to fall in love with a lot of stuff and you're going to get out of there looking like $1 million, and he's going to love the new you. He's going to love the new you. So you teach her how to do that, okay? Well, okay, parenthesis, more than ever. I remember exactly how I felt before I started Mary Kay. Right now that I'm here in India, because I don't work here, I don't have a resident visa. I have a company visa. I don't have a bank account, which means I don't have disposable cash. Not everybody accepts an international credit card here or a debit card. And so if I want to go downstairs at the bakery and have coffee with my friends, I have to ask my husband for money. And oh my gosh, I am an independent woman. I don't want to ask anybody for money, okay? So here's another point of a very important closing. Of course, you want to tell your client to bring money, ask her husband for money to spend, but you're going to really offer the opportunity to this woman because she really needs disposable income. She needs disposable income. If she has to ask her husband for money for every activity that she goes, she needs disposable. That's why I started my business, because I was sick and tired of asking my husband for money. Got a comment there, somebody? No. Okay. So just be mindful of those comments, because those are all tools that you have for you to reach other women for your business. Okay. So follow the steps, cut the cut the objection at the root. Any more objections that I did not cover right now? I don't have any money. I have to ask my husband. Any objections that you get at your appointments that you get stumped when people ask you don't know what to say? You can unmute to ask the question. Because I really want to cover that with you guys so you're prepared, so you feel prepared at your closings, so you have more success, you have better results for your activity. Anybody has anything that they want to ask? What are your closing objections? No? You guys are pros at closing? Or becoming objections? Okay. Truly listen would be my next. I'll get it later. Okay. Let's see. Let me see where the chat is. Hold on. Where's the chat, guys? Here's the chat. No to school. I'll get it later.
Yeah, it's basically, I don't need it. Or I need it now, but I'll get it
later. I'll get it later. Okay, I don't need it. I got you. Okay. So she really just came for the pampering, right? So she did not come prepared for shopping. Okay. And so this is very good, Jessica. I'm glad you said that because that's a little bit of a pet peeve for me. Okay. Because this is what happens. When you prepare the hostess, when you tell her, invite your friends that are going to buy products so you can get your hostess credit, and somebody comes and says, oh, I just came here to support Susie. No, you came here to eat. If you're not buying anything, you just came here to eat. That's all you're doing. Think about that. There's no support for you to sit. Okay, I shouldn't do this. Okay. There's no support for you to just come and sit here and participate and not buy. That's no support, right? But she thinks she's supporting because she was not pre-profiled or trained. If she knows what you're looking for, what the host is looking for, if she's coming there just to eat, she's not coming. If she doesn't have any money and she knows your end result and what the host is looking for, she's not coming. She's going to come up with an excuse not to come. All right? And so I'll get it later is a response really from both not profiling her, letting her know what the end result is, and what the host should be telling her. As a friend, the host is telling her, girlfriend, you're going to come, you're going to fall in love with the stuff, you're going to buy everything, because when you buy everything, I get everything. But she's only going to have the freedom to say that to her friends. You get it? If the hostess is able to tell that to her friends, and you are pre-profiling and saying, I can't wait to see you there, Jessica, you know, Fernanda is looking. What's that? It was not a question. Okay.
Mañana me empieza a decir que está cansado, pero es que así le va a ir.
Okay.
Que no entiende por qué es tanta la joda a esta hora de la noche.
Okay, just a second.
Ni el baño le cayó para que se fuera a dormir.
Nah, sí, se te escucha.
Ah. Aló.
I turned it up.
Okay.
I turned it up. So at the end there, when you are pre-profiling the client, this is, you know, there's two things that I say to the client that are imperative for the benefit of the hostess. I say, I'm so glad you're coming. She gets a percentage of everything that's sold that day. I teach her because if the hostess doesn't tell her, then I'm going to tell her. She gets a percentage of everything that's sold that day. So she's looking forward to receiving $200 worth of free product. So everything counts that day. That'll be awesome. She's also looking for people that are willing to book their own party. So this is going to be so great because if you fall in love and you have some friends that you want to invite, you'll be able to book your own party. I tell her that, and I say to her, you know, Jessica, things happen, and we all have children. We all have other priorities. If you have a flat tire, if your child wakes up throwing up on the carpet, if your dog runs away, I would love for you to think of somebody else to send in your place because Fernanda gets a prize when there's 5 people there. So you're the 5th person. If you don't show up, she doesn't get the prize. So make sure you show up, okay? All right. So when you do those things, how can a woman not show up? Okay, so she will show up. You will have a 5-people party because you've told her. So I usually say, make sure you have a backup person just in case something happens that day and you can't show up. And what I do usually say is, look, if you already called somebody and a backup person wants to come, regardless if you're coming or not, please bring her. Just have her call me or send me her information so I can call her and have the same conversation that I'm having with you, so I can be prepared for her with her tray and samples and everything that she needs. So there's no cancellation. There's always a purchase. Most likely somebody will book because I've told her that she can book and have the same experience. So the pre-profiling phone call is so important because you're preparing everything. You're preparing the sale. A person is not going to tell me at the very end, I'll get it later, knowing that her hostess is getting credit today. She had an opportunity to try the product, and we were there to sell the product so the hostess can get the prizes. So she's not going to tell me that at the end because I already eliminated that option at the pre-profiling phone call. Okay, Jessica? So eliminate, good. So eliminate those objections at the pre-profiling phone call. And it might be a very long phone call to eliminate all objections, but not every client is going to need the same information in order to be successful for you. Some people, if you were talking to your hostess and she says, oh, this woman buys everything she sees, you don't need to talk to her about bringing money because she's going to bring money, right? So there are some things that you don't have to mention. Go ahead, Jessica.
And they'll know too. I got it. I think I have to work, from hearing you, I have to work on being more firm when I make those phone calls.
So have a list of what you want to, that's why I say to you, make a list of things that make you, make a list of things that happen in your appointment that you don't like. Make a list of things that happen in your appointment that don't make you happy. You know, and usually this is what I do when I get to my car before I leave the person's house. I make those lists right there because I still have those things in my head. I don't forget it. I have a note in my phone that has all the things that bug me that I started making that list, and then I analyze it when I'm calm, when I'm not emotional. I'll analyze and see what part do I play in that objection. What part did I play in not preparation to help that thing happen? Because it's two, right? I was there and I was there too. So I'm part of creating that issue as well. But I need to be calm. I can't be emotional. I have to think logically about that to be able to cut that at the roots. Got it? Okay. All right. So cut the problem at the root. To be able to cut the problem at the root, I need to truly listen. So the next step is truly listen. Truly listen. So when you are having an appointment, when you're doing the pre-profiling phone call, when you are talking to your hostess, truly listen. Listen to the adjectives that she uses. Listen to the strong verbs that she uses. Listen to her body language. Listen to the complaints that she has. Listen to everything that she says, because when you truly listen, you can take away objections, you can take away problems, and you can fill that need. It is very difficult to fill a need when you don't know what the need is. And that was my main problem in my beginnings. I never listened to the client, therefore I couldn't fill a need. I was always talking, and never gave her an opportunity to express herself, so I didn't know what her need was, which meant I couldn't fill that need. So it came closing. It was just a financial transaction. It was not a relationship building opportunity. She didn't trust me as a professional. I was a salesperson. I was not a consultant. Okay, so truly listen, so then you can get the very best of that appointment. You can build that relationship and she can trust you as a professional, okay? And the last point is how she feels. How she feels at that appointment is going to create a relationship that is forever. You direct how she feels. You direct how she feels. When she feels that she is valued, when she feels that she is pampered, when she feels that she's heard, she's most likely going to be devoted to you. Okay, how she feels is you can direct that. So if a person comes in a bad mood, not valued, not appreciated, and you confetti on her, and if you give her attention, and if not in a sarcastic way, not overdoing it, but truly, genuinely enriching that person's life, she will fall in love with you. She will fall in love with you. She will appreciate you. You will have made an impact in her life for those 2 hours that she's in front of you. And from that point on, she might be your customer for life. She might become a good friend of yours. She might want to hang out with you because you're the person that made her feel good. Okay? There's a saying that says people won't know what you don't, people won't remember what you say, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Okay, how many times you've been to the church where you can't really repeat what the pastor says, but you remember how you felt when you left that. Or you've been to a group lunch where people were negative, and you remember how you felt when you left, that you felt drained, you felt exhausted because people were so negative. You don't remember what they said, but you remember exactly how you felt. And so people are going to remember how they felt when they left your Mary Kay party. So your goal is to help them feel enriched, that their needs, their skincare needs were met, their emotional needs, as much as you can. You're not a psychologist. That's not your job. Right there is to pamper them. And if they felt fulfilled, if they felt happy, if they felt pretty, if they felt that they've gotten something from that appointment, then you've done your job. And you're going to have a great closing when you have enriched somebody's life. Okay? So those are, I'm going to repeat the steps that I believe are crucial to successful closing. And success, again, depends on what you define as success. Different parts of my career were defined at different ways, because a success can be, in the beginning, a sale, and then later on as recruiting, and more, it could be bookings. Depending on what you define as a successful closing, you're going to, of course, the steps are going to be different for each appointment, because the result that you're looking for is different. But you want to remember that the closing starts when you meet that person. The individual close really starts when you meet that person. You shake their hands, and when she hears your voice or she watches your introduction video, however you are going to first interact with that person, that's when your closing starts. She starts building trust with you at that very moment, okay? The second one is you want to focus on enriching that life. How can I come into Jessica's house and enrich the lives of the people that are there present? Even if her husband and children are there, you want to enrich their lives, okay? Pay attention, give praise, say thanks, show them appreciation, enrich that life. Find a need of that client. Find a specific need that she has in her skin, in her personality, in her day-to-day routine. What is her specific need? And then fill it with what you've got to offer, with your product, with your routine, with your opportunity, with the financial benefits that we have, with the second booking. What is her need? She wants the product, but she doesn't have any money. Even if her husband allowed her to spend, she only has $10. She needs to be a hostess to get product for free. Okay, find a need and fill it, okay? Follow the steps. You can't complain about a botched up closing if you didn't follow the steps. That's on you. Okay, as a consultant, it's on you to be prepared. Follow the steps. Do the things that Mary Kay teaches us. The wheel has been invented. You don't have to invent the wheel. You just have to roll the wheel. You just roll the wheel and follow the steps. They're easy. The woman that follows the steps in Mary Kay will have success. There's proven results. There's women earning Cadillacs and becoming nationals all the time. It's because they're following the steps, okay? Cut out the objections at the roots. Cut your objections. Find a list of things that bug you. Find the objections that you find most common. Study them. If you Google Mary Kay objections, you'll find a list of them. I have booklets that I have purchased at nationals classes, and I have notes and notes of how to memorize objection answers. But what I have found is that takes a lot of mental space. Instead of memorizing the answers to these objections, I really want to find out what that person needs. And there's always going to be one objection that I have never heard of before. The class in Portuguese, the girl says she bought the stuff, but she was upset because she didn't like the catalog. She liked an older catalog. And I'm like, that's kind of an objection. But for that person, for that woman, that was an important thing. She wanted an older catalog. She likes the older catalog. I don't even know what the catalog is. That's an objection. And I've never heard of that before. But if I truly know how to overcome objections regarding of the specific objection, then I can overcome that by using the skills necessary to overcome it, not necessarily the steps for that specific objection. So each one of us is going to get a different objection. And I think that a new consultant feels more prepared when she knows the heart of the overcoming objections skill. That's a skill that you learn. When you know the heart of it, which is to fill a need, find a need and fill it. When a client gives you an objection, it's because she has a specific need and you want to fill it. So you want to be attentive to the details. You want to listen to her because sometimes she says something, but it's not really the true objection, okay? And then you can fill it. If she tells you that her husband doesn't allow her to do it, I believe that the true root of that is she doesn't have any money. Because a woman, even if she doesn't have disposable income, will find a way to spend the money that she wants to spend, okay? So you need to find a way for her to be able to have that product because that's not her husband. A woman that wants something will not stop from doing something because her husband told her no. Okay, when a woman wants something, she will do it. And it's not that she's gonna go behind her husband because she wants skincare. She's gonna want a skincare and she's gonna buy from somebody else. She's gonna have a lotion in her bathroom. She's gonna have lipstick. She's not gonna go without. Okay, so find the need and fill it. Find the root of the issue and cut it at the root. Truly listen, and you are the director of how those women feel at that moment. Those 2 hours are yours. You are the performer. They're there to watch you. When you take complete control out of that appointment, you can have results. Don't let anybody else take control. You are the director. They came to observe and learn from you. So if you take full responsibility for being the director, they're going to have a great time. And your appointment is going to go exactly how you want it to go because you have taken the steps to prepare, to listen, to enrich, and to direct, to be the professional that you are at that appointment. Girls, I don't know if there's anything that I didn't cover that you want to hear. Please tell me so I know. We have a few more minutes. Is there anything that we didn't cover? Fernanda, is there something that we covered at the other class that I didn't cover on this one that would be important? No. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you summed it up very well. And I'm analyzing everything that I'm like, what mistakes have I done previously and where have I gone wrong? And it is, I hear you and you're like straight to the point. There's no ifs or buts. And sometimes I give that leeway for ifs and buts. And that's where I think I've fallen. So it's a great, I love how I just analyzed a few of my classes where I've had a bad experience. And then I'm like, that's why, because I did this and this and this. So it's awesome how I'm able now to just realize that, and and just hearing you being so firm, and I'm like, that's not me, because I'm sometimes so fragile in that aspect, right? And I think sometimes a lot of people, when they start or as they go through, they get used to that, right? And they give in to certain things, like you were saying, like the TV or the children, because sometimes I have children and I'm like, well, I feel bad if I tell them there's no children or whatever, because, but at the same time, if you say it to them up front, then they can try to accommodate it, because I know I have accommodated not having my children, in meetings and certain stuff, right? Because I've been given that forewarning, right?
So then you prepare, right?
So I think you've summed it up really well. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I remembered something that was mentioned in the Portuguese class, and the girl said the hostess did not want to give the names and the numbers of the people. And I don't give her that option. She says, I'd like to have the names and the numbers of the people so I can contact them when people follow them. She says, oh, I don't give her that option. I don't say, oh, okay. No, I say, I need the names and the numbers of the people that are coming so I can pre-profile them, so I can have their skincare information, and so I can ask them any questions that they may have during the thing. And she says, I don't want to give them the numbers. And I say, okay, I'm going to send you a picture of the profile. There's about 30 questions in here. I want you to contact each one individually and get all that information, front and back, and send it to me within 24 hours. She will immediately give you the numbers. She doesn't want to do that. She'll immediately say, okay, here's everybody's number. Okay, that's what I need. I need. So be a director. Be a director. Take control over the thing, because otherwise they're gonna walk all over you.
Yes. Yeah, it's being more firm, and that's yeah. I think that's what most of the times when you start off, and we lack that, right?
And I agree with that. I like that too. I didn't want people to feel. I don't want to even say the word. I didn't want people to feel uncomfortable with what I asked them. But it's not. They don't know what an appointment is. They don't know what an appointment is. So if you teach them what an appointment is, that's what they're going to accept. If you let them say no to you, then you're not preparing yourself for a good closing, which is a slam dunk at the 5-second shot. Right? That's what we want. Okay? All right, girlies. If you have any more questions or comments, put it on the Boss Babe group, because then we will be able to answer that. Your directors are awesome too. I'm sure they have much more amazing tips than what I've passed on to you. But I thought that for the time frame that we have, those are the things that help me have amazing closings, and have helped me change my mind about who I am as a performer at the appointment. So that's what I see myself doing, and that's what they come here to watch. And so if you perform well, and if you do your steps and you're sharp, they will buy you. They will buy you and everything that you have to sell.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right, guys, have a great evening. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.